Astronomers are preparing for the rarest phenomenon. Scientists have calculated that Jupiter and Saturn will soon approach each other as close as possible. This has not happened since the Middle Ages. This will happen on December 21, after sunset. From Earth, it will look like a shining star in the night sky. If weather permits, it will be possible to watch the historical event anywhere on Earth, but the inhabitants of the equator will be especially lucky. The juxtaposition of the two planets joined with Mercury also happened around the birth of Jesus Christ as the Parthian Magi predicted it. It was called the Bethlehem Star in later ages. The price of the Russian vaccine, Sputnik V, will be announced in the near future. This was announced by the Russian Direct Investment Fund. The official account of the vaccine informs that the cost of the drug will be significantly lower than foreign analogues, in particular the Pfizer vaccine, one dose of which will cost $19.50, and Moderna, its price will reach $37. In order to be vaccinated, 2 doses are needed, respectively. The figure will have to be multiplied by 2. At the moment, clinical trials of Sputnik V are being carried out in Russia, as well as in Belarus, the United Arab Emirates, Hungary, India, Venezuela and Brazil. Guatemalan government cracks down on anti-austerity protests. Amid a deepening and historic social crisis in Guatemala, exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic and hurricanes Eta and Iota this month, thousands joined demonstrations across the country to oppose austerity. The demonstrations on Saturday and Sunday were triggered by the Congress's approval of a 2021 budget that included cuts to programs against hunger, public education, care for coronavirus patients and protection of human rights. The restoration of funds for food programs at the last minute failed to appease demonstrators, who demanded major increases in social spending. Dozens killed in Uganda as police and military carry out brutal crackdown on protests. 37 people were killed by security forces, scores of others injured and hundreds more detained after 2 days of protests shook Uganda's capital city Kampala and several other towns last week. The largest unrest in the East African country in a decade was sparked by the arrest of presidential candidate Bobi Wine during a campaign rally Wednesday. After a campaign stop in Luka, a town in eastern Uganda, police arrested Wine, claiming he violated the Electoral Commission's guidelines against holding political rallies with more than 200 persons, breaking a decree made by the election body in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Wine was released on bail on Friday. Wine's arrest was the second in less than a month. On 3 November Wine was arrested shortly after filling out forms to register his candidacy, with television cameras recording police pulling him from his car. By linking European Union funding to the new law on suspects criteria called rule of law, a new Brussels-based tyranny led by capital interests could take the place of the decades-long Moscow-based tyranny, said Thomas Deutsch, a member of the European Parliament, on public radio on Sunday. People wish for neither Eastern nor Western tyranny. They want democracy, Deutsch said, stressing that the currently known aim of the new law is to force EU member states into letting in migrants uncontrolled, in a manner that is untruthful and vexing. A fundamental condition of ensuring equal rights for member states is that everyone's opinion matters on the most important issues and that everyone's interests and positions are respected, he said. This is why the EU treaties require unanimity of member states' heads of government and state. If a member state vetoes a decision, it is simply exercising its right to communicate that there is still no unanimity.